Hello and welcome to today's lesson from the IELTS coach. Today we are going to look at some part 1 speaking topics that are likely to be used in 2020. So these are new recent topics that students have reported on, and they are likely to be used certainly at the beginning of the year and probably throughout the year from time to time. So I will just present 3 different topics and 4 questions for each topic today, and I will try to add 1 or 2 new videos with the new topics every week or so that you can be aware of which topics to expect, but you still need to practice and prepare for a wide range of topics. It's not so much the topic that you need to be focusing on, but the question type, how to answer certain styles of questions. And answer that same question type with different topics is good practice. So as I am showing you these questions and the topics, I will give some example answers. Notice the information and the structure that I use in those examples. So I don't want to make this video too long. Let's get into it and let's have a look at the first topic. And we can see there it is work or studies. So this one is where the examiner will choose one or the other depending on your first answer. So if you say I work, they will ask questions about work. If you say I'm a student, they will ask questions about your studies. So it will depend. That first question is quite important. So make it clear. Don't make it difficult for the examiner by saying I work and study. They have to decide which one to talk about. Focus on one. Work or study, which do you do more? Choose that as your answer. Which can you talk about more comfortably? Choose that. If you have part-time studies and a part-time job, just choose one to focus on for this type of question. So let's have a look at some of the questions. And these are not all of the questions, but you will get questions related to these topics. Do you work or study? I work as an English teacher. I have been an English teacher for almost 20 years. It's basically the only job that I have done. When I was a teenager, I had some other jobs such as newspaper delivery boy, but an English teacher has been my main focus for most of my working life. Why did you choose that job? Well, I chose to be an English teacher because it was a job that allowed me to travel, which was my initial reason for wanting to teach in other countries. And I continued in that job because I got to meet a lot of people. I got to experience a lot of cultures, to go to other places, even though I have stayed mostly in one country for most of my teaching career. What do you like most about the company that you work for? Well, the fact is I work on my own. I don't work for a school anymore. And the thing I like most about teaching for myself and finding my own students is that I have freedom to choose the type of students that I want, to teach the type of lessons that I want to teach. I also have the freedom to take holidays and breaks when I want. However, when I was working for schools and universities, I really enjoyed interactions with staff and other teachers. And that's something that I miss now that I don't work for a school. Do you plan to change jobs in the future? I don't have any plans to change. I really enjoy teaching. I think it's something that I can continue to do in the future and something I can continue to enjoy. If I was to change, it would be more teaching online through videos such as YouTube, but still related to teaching, maybe teaching other teachers, because I really enjoy teaching and I think it's something that I can continue to do. So look at those answers. Notice that I'm trying to structure my answers with 2 clear sentences. And this is something I recommend if you're aiming for 7 or higher. Try to have 2 complex sentences, not complicated, complex sentences for each answer. Some might be longer or shorter, but that's okay. But try to have 2 complex sentences. Separate your ideas into 2 sentences. Let's look at another topic that is likely to be used in 2020 and has been used in the past as well. I want to ask about the place where you live. So this could be different things. This could be neighborhood or the building that you live in or the town or city that you live in. The first question will let you know what that is. Can you describe the building that you live in? I live in a very small apartment. It's a studio apartment. There are about 20 studios in the building that I live in. It's very new. I think it's only 2 years old. So everything looks clean and nice and modern. It's a small apartment, but it does have modern facilities, air conditioning and washing machines. And I really like the apartment because it feels so new. What is something you don't like about the place you live in? Well, because it is new and because it has a good location, the thing that I don't like is the price. It's quite expensive compared to other places in this city. If I had a choice, I would like to pay less, but I really do like the modern facilities and the cleanliness of my building. Have you lived in many places in your life? I have lived in quite a lot of places, not just different towns and cities, but different countries. I've lived in Vietnam, Australia, Turkey, Albania. I've lived in a lot of different places. Within that, I've lived in Vietnam for the most amount of time, and I've lived in different cities and a lot of different apartment buildings within Vietnam. What would your ideal house or apartment be like? Well, I think I actually prefer apartment living. I think houses can be too big and you have too many things to do. So I would prefer my ideal place to be quite a large apartment with 2 separate bedrooms so that I can have guests visiting from other countries stay with me, and I would like that. I also need it so there's room for me to teach and room for me to be separate from the kitchen, living areas, and the bedroom. I would also like a balcony with a nice view, preferably an ocean view. I like to live by the sea. Okay, now let's look at the next topic. And I've got these 3 different topics. And what's quite common in IELTS Part 1 is they start with a very familiar topic, such as work or jobs or family or free time. Then a less common topic that you might talk about, so where you live or favorite food, your last holiday. Then the last topic is often quite abstract or something that you might not expect. They just want to see how you can speak without something that you've planned. You can't really plan for the last topic. It's usually unusual, mirrors or the sky, or as we're going to see today. So let's have a look at topic 3 for this particular speaking part 1. Let's talk about pens and pencils. See, kind of an unusual topic. Do you prefer to use a pen or a pencil? I don't use pens or pencils very often. I do prefer to use a pen just because I think it's easier to write with and it's clearer. Sometimes pencils can be very soft and you might not be able to see very clearly what has been written or drawn. So pens certainly are more common and I find it easier to write with a pen. Have you ever received a pen or pencil as a gift? Actually, yes, quite a lot. As a teacher, I use pens quite a lot and my students see that. So over the years, I have received quite nice pens, sometimes quite expensive pens as gifts from students, as well as from family members or friends. But it's quite a common gift and quite a good gift, I think, to give a teacher. When was the last time you bought a pen or pencils? I can't remember the last time I bought pencils. Maybe when I was younger and I used to do a lot of drawing and coloring, but certainly not recently. In terms of pens, probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, I use a pen to take notes and to write my list for the day. So I had lost a pen, so I bought a new pen when I was at the supermarket. Do you use pens and pencils more now compared with the past? I would say no. Certainly when I was at school, computers were less common, so you had to use a pen and pencil for writing things down and doing assignments. Now, with computer use, I certainly use a computer much more than I write things down. I do keep a list with pen and paper, but I also have lists and essays and emails that I write using pen and paper. Okay, so there we have 3 topics, 3 or 4 questions for each topic, which is quite common, and some example answers there. Practice answering these questions on your own, and I will try to upload some more questions for 2020 in the next few days. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.